So in the last video, I stepped you through the components that need to go into a statement of intention and explained what it was. Now I'm going to walk you through a sample that I have written in response to the Candy's dog example that I wrote for you. So if we have a look, I'm just giving you an indication of the length. So let's have a look at how many words my example is. So I'm at 448 words. And that is, within the ballpark of what I'm expecting from each of you, that 350 to 400 word limit. So just as a reminder, a statement of intention is me explaining why I wrote what I wrote, what choices I made, what themes I'm tapping into, and how I'm reflecting Steinbeck's writing. So let's have a look and I'll walk you through it. I have chosen to reimagine the scene when Candy's dog is taken from him and shot, as it highlights Steinbeck's themes of loneliness and broken dreams. Candy is an old, crippled man, and as such he feels like his own days on the ranch are numbered. Seeing his old dog, who the other men say ain't no good to himself, taken from him and simply disposed of, breaks Candy and shows the lack of compassion within American society at this time. Okay, so in this opening paragraph, what I've done is I've told you very clearly the scene that I have written. So I'm telling the reader what I'm writing, the actual events, and the themes that this story is supposed to be tapping into. So the person who would be grading me knows exactly what I'm trying to do. I go into a bit more detail about that as well. So I'm kind of explaining the reason why I chose that scene. He's an old crippled man. What happens to his dog, he's scared is going to happen to him. And it shows the lack of compassion within American society. Okay, so I'm just justifying why I picked what I picked. I have chosen Candy's misery and I have shown Candy's misery and isolation through my use of repetition, as I emphasize that he is alone on his bed, staring at the ceiling. He refuses to look at the other men, feeling completely betrayed by them. I have developed his desperation and powerlessness by including rhetorical questions, such as, why couldn't they just leave him alone? Just let me have him. He is unable to stop what is happening around him. Instead, he is forced to accept it, even though this is such a devastating blow to him. I emphasize that he is old and crippled, as Candy feels defined by these traits, completely rejected by society because of them. So this is my characterization paragraph. Here I'm explaining that what Candy is thinking and feeling in this moment. So he's feeling miserable, he's isolated, he feels betrayed, he's desperate, and he's powerless. And I explain that by quoting myself. I have shown these emotions and I've shown it in this way. I used repetition, I used rhetorical questions. In order to capture Candy's voice, I have mirrored Steinbeck's colloquial language, using apostrophes and incorrect grammar such as, I just keep looking at the ceiling, and once thought I was going to get out of here. Steinbeck writes in a detached manner that allows the reader to observe the characters. For this piece, however, I was interested in the internal world of Candy and wanted to capture his thoughts and feelings at this heartbreaking moment. I have therefore written in first person and used flashbacks to emphasize that Candy's life was once filled with promise and hopes, just like George and Lenny's. Like them, however, his dreams were crushed by the brutal society. Here, I'm talking about the author's language choices and therefore my language choices, and I'm explaining them. So you can see here I've used colloquial language, I'm using apostrophes to represent this, and I'm quoting myself once again. A number of you are doing what I have done, which is even though Steinbeck writes in third person, we've chosen to write in first person because we want to enter into the character's head. That's completely fine. but you need to do what I have done and explain that you've changed it. So Steinbeck writes in a detached way by using third person, whereas I have changed to first person because I want to explore this specific character. I deliberately echoed some of Steinbeck's writing to highlight the themes present in both the novel and my story. I used the line, "I had him and he had me," to reflect George saying, "You got me and I got you." I wanted to emphasize the need for companionship, to find meaning in the world, and to make dreams worthwhile. So here I'm quoting me, and I'm also quoting Steinbeck to show that I'm writing how I'm writing because Steinbeck writes in this way. I've chosen to explore this one small moment because it is a quiet moment of utter devastation. In losing his dog, Candy loses his only true companion. George and Lenny's dream gives them a brief glimmer of hope, but ultimately his dog's death foreshadows the demise of his dream as well as his own treatment in life. Thus, I aim to give further insight into the cruelty of American society at this time and to demonstrate the impossibility of the American dream. So I'm bringing it back here to the themes. This, once again, is why I chose this theme, this story. These are the themes that I'm exploring. This is the didactic message or the author's message that I'm trying to convey. So Steinbeck in this piece is showing us that the American dream is dead. I, in my piece, The Death of Candy's Dog, am also showing that the American dream is dead. So I'm echoing that didactic message. So what I hope that you're seeing that I'm doing is I'm telling you what I'm doing, why I did it. What I'm doing, why I did it. What I'm doing, why I did it. That's effectively the structure the entire way. I picked this scene for these reasons. I used this language for these reasons. I picked this character for these reasons. And I'm showing this theme for these reasons. Okay, so that's all you're doing. You're just explaining to me what you wrote, why you wrote it. Just make sure that you're going into that level of detail where you're quoting yourself and you're showing really clearly. You get Steinbeck's writing, you know what he's doing, and you get his themes, and because you're including them and you were aware that you were including them. Hopefully that helps you when you're writing your statement of intention. Feel free to use this as a model, and you've also got the sentence starters and the questions that I've sent you as well. So you just need to make sure that those key structural ideas are going in there. Good luck.